Go, 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 go. I guess they want me on that rapping shit, but beware, I spit that shit that never got no cap in it. Yeah, she got a body, but that coochie got a trap in it. Give a fuck, I'ma still boot up and run a lap in it. And I'm feeling freaky, so I might just hit it passionate. Like Bobby, hit your Ricky Bobby, do it sloppy, pulled up dash cash. Then I pulled a copy, Nike black mask. When I feel like doing something cocky in that Rari room, and only time my big ass feeling jockey, I'm respected in the 310, 323 and 424. My partner from the rack, so he say phone him, I say Brody, bro. In school, the shorties laughing.
What the fuck it do? It's motherfucking Deja the Diva on your radio, computer, phone, whatever you listening to this podcast on. Okay, first of all, I'm excited to be here, and I'm also just kind of looking like, okay, this is a little bit surreal because I've tried to record this and do this more than once. I've tried to do this at least 5 or 6 times, okay? And every time it was a problem. It even got to the point where I was so frustrated, child and cried and everything, okay? We not even gonna go there with that. I'm just letting y'all know this is what I went through to make this happen. So, excuse me, y'all, I have to take a couple sips of my little tea now because my voice has got some things going on. But I just wanted to let y'all know that I'm here. I'm ready to communicate with y'all. Let's talk. Let's talk, because that's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do. We're here to talk, okay? So, I'm to the point. I just really want to let y'all know the type of person that I am. And then we'll get into more of the show. So, I'm in my 30s. I have 3 children. My oldest is 18. I'm sorry, my oldest is 19, and my youngest is 12. They're in homeschool. We don't really do the whole going to school thing. They got a lot. They're not really doing what they're supposed to be doing there. But that's another topic for another show. Also, I'm just a down the ride type person. Like, if I know that I can trust you in that you my real peoples, and I ain't talking about family because that don't mean that that's your real peoples, but just to know that, if you my real peoples, I'm all the way out there, period. I'm gonna do anything for you. I'm gonna lift you up, and I'm gonna pour into you, because any type of relationship, I feel like you should be getting poured into. I don't care if it's your boyfriend, your mama, your sister, whoever. They should pour into you. You should pour into them, period. And if it's not that type of rapport, then you need to cut that off. But yeah, at this point, like I said, I'm trying to let y'all know what type of person that I am. And the type of person that I am.
Bluetooth mode.
I apologize, y'all. See, we having technical difficulties already.
Aux mode.
Yeah, but it's just to the point where, like I said, everybody has family or whatever. So, the family that I was born in, I don't really mess with them. And excuse me, y'all, this is not really a kid show. This is not really a kid-friendly show because I can't control my mouth. And I'm so transparent that, you might hear a cuss word or two. You know what I mean? But I mean well. Yeah, but you can have family. But, the family that I was born into, I never felt like I was a part of it. And I speak for any of those black sheeps out there that felt like you just in this shit by yourself or whatever. Also, I want to let y'all know that I'm not going to push religion on y'all. I'm a spiritual person. Spirituality and religion is 2 different things. So please don't get them mixed up on my show, because I'm not going to be preaching, but you need to, because God is no, because that is a fictitious entity, and I will never steer you wrong to the point where you're on something else. And if you feel like you don't want to listen to me because of that, then you can just go ahead on and click out of here. But at this point, I hear a lot of people always talk about, oh, you got to put family first. And, excuse me, drinking a sip of my tea, but yeah, you got to put family first and all this, that, and the third. And you know, I'm to the point now where fuck family. That's how I feel. Fuck family. You know, all the things that I've been through coming up, even up until this present day, you know, like, I went through a lot of things with so-called family. Like, and I mean, if y'all want to have story time, hey, I'm here to give it to y'all. You know what I mean? And I will never lie to y'all. I'm transparent. I'm letting y'all know the truth. This is me all the way. Because before I get to talking about things that I really want to talk about, you know, the soul and the spirit said that I need to tell my story, and that's what I'm going to do. So, I was born a Virgo, September the 16th, 1989. I'm telling my age, but I really don't give a fuck. So, yeah. Virgo Nation. And I always felt like I was a little bit more special and had a little bit more things going on than everybody else around me. But now that I'm knowing that my bloodline have certain things placed upon us or whatever, I'll get to that too. But, you know, I started off loving my mama. I can't say, well, I love my daddy too, but he's never really been in the picture. My biological father, he's never really been in the picture. And to be honest, he always like hated me or whatever, and he always treated me like shit. So that was that. But I always had a stepdad since as far as I can remember, and it's been the same guy because him and my mama been married for 30-some years. Okay, so it's like every time my little brother would turn the age, that's how long they was married or whatever. And yeah, so like I said, I'm letting y'all know the real deal Holyfield. So I'm to the point now, like I said, I don't really fuck with my family because I know the truth about all of them, period. And like, my mama carried me through so many things, and I don't know if it's like some people out there, like I'm the oldest, and anybody who's been the oldest knows that you deal with the oldest syndrome, which is you got to do everything. You got to, you know, like, you got to do everything around the house. You want to make sure everything's good. Make sure you ain't getting your ass whooped, because at the end of the day, back in the day, we got our asses whooped, period. So, not to say it ain't people out here that's still doing it, but just saying a lot of people are not doing disciplining that they was doing back then. So, yeah. But like I said, I always felt like I didn't belong with these people. Like, I always felt like, what the fuck? Like, I don't belong to these people. Or I always felt like, damn, you know, my mama hate me. She carried me through all this bullshit. But get back to the older sibling syndrome. You know, us feeling like we got to do everything. You're feeling like you at the bottom because nobody really asks you how you feel. Well, growing up, when I grew up, nobody in my family, they didn't ask you how you feel. My mama didn't give a fuck. She did what she did. She said what she said, and you had to do what she said. And she was a hard lady, a hard lady. I will say this though, like I said, so being young, I'm knowing that I was different, okay? To the point where, you know, I had to deal with a lot of situations. Like, more so on the spiritual side, I used to see like spirits and ghosts and whatever the fuck you want to call them, apparitions, whatever the fuck you want to call them. But yeah, always seen those things and wonder like why, you know, why I get to see this or certain things, like. But I always got treated, in my mind, I got treated the worst out of my siblings, because my mama got 3 kids too, and basically it's the same. Like, I got 2 girls and a boy, and she has 2 girls and a boy. Okay, so it's the same. But I'm the oldest, My brother is the second oldest, and my little sister, she's the youngest. That's not really the case with my children, but yeah. I always felt like, damn, like I didn't get as much attention. Just a lot, you know what I mean? I felt like I got treated like shit. Period. I'm gonna let y'all know. Like, I ain't even gonna lie. Excuse me, another sip of my tea. Even though I was always trying to get the best grades, and you just always wanted your parents' approval. That made you feel good. It made you feel great. You know what I mean? And I just felt like I never really got those hands and pats on the back. Like, I can go and make good grades, and my mama ain't never had to come to the school for me. She only had to come to the school for me one time. And when I say one time, literally one time during my whole stint of school. That's elementary, middle, and high school. She only had to come one time. And I was in middle school. But yeah, and it wasn't like I was fighting or nothing. It was because the math teacher. But yeah, whatever. But after she came to school that one time and she was looking like she looked it, I didn't ever want her to come back to school anymore because she jive embarrassed the fuck out of me how she was looking and how she came in there looking. Like, I did not like that. Excuse me, but I didn't like it. So she didn't have to worry about that. Like, her coming up to school for me no more after that. But she always had to go to school for my brother because he was always in trouble. And when I say always in trouble, I mean literally. My guy was always in trouble. Period. Like, he always like fighting or just getting into certain shit. And it's not like it was his fault. I guess you could say that he had ADHD because he always had like A's and B's, you know what I mean? But I guess it's the fact that, ADHD, when he sit down too long, you know what I mean? Like, and he done his work, he started making trouble for everybody else in the class. So that's what he used to do. But anyways, we talk about me. So, I could remember certain things happening to me when I was a young girl. So, like, we always, like, had to stay with somebody or something. Like, not always, but, like, most of the time we had our own spot. But, like, a lot of the times we always had to stay with somebody. And I know during one of our stints, we had to stay with my stepdad parents or whatever. So, yeah. During this time is when I learned about sexual abuse. Mind you, my mama really never taught me about that. I guess because she felt like everybody that she had us around was safe. You know what I mean? And I probably was maybe 7. But yeah, I'm just a little girl, happy. I like to read and stuff. I always loved to read. So, I noticed that this guy from, like, their next door neighbor, he used to always come around, but it's like he used to always come around to kind of, like, wait till I be by myself or something. I don't know. But either way, like, this dude was a fucking pedophile. And looking back at it, I just feel sorry for his family because I'm pretty sure that they done had their kids around him and they felt really messed up because of this. But yeah. It was like really crazy. Like, I can remember one day plainly me laying across the bed, like, my stepdad's still supposed to be watching me, but she used to like smoke weed or whatever. She used to smoke like J's and shit. Anyways, and all she was worried about is like cleaning up before her mom and them get home, because if I'm not mistaken, she was like some type of teenager. She was like between the ages of 15 and 18. Okay. So, yeah, yeah, and I'm laying across the bed in her little brother room, and I'm reading a book. Because he had like all the Dr. Seuss books. Y'all know, like back then, like that's all you seen in a child room with like a lot of Dr. Seuss books or whatever. So yeah, I'm laying across the bed reading Dr. Seuss book or whatever. So this guy, he comes in and he's like, he didn't say nothing to nobody because the only people was there was me and her. Okay, so and she was upstairs. So he laid across the bed beside me, and he's like acting like he's reading the book with me, like, oh, you read really good. And I'm looking at him like, what? I'm like 7 years old. Like, why would I not read really good? Like, I knew I was smart, period, because I knew things that I didn't even know why I knew. But anyways, so we like laying across the bed, and he's acting like in hindsight, I could say he's acting like, but he's acting like he's helping me read this book. Okay. But then out of nowhere, he like sticks his hand down in my pants. And like I said, I'm laying across the bed. I'm on my stomach. Okay, so he sticks his hands in, he stick one of his hands in my pants. Like, and so it's like on my private area. Okay. And when he does that, she walks down her stairs like she's sweeping or something or whatever. So when she come downstairs all the way, he hurry up and he moves his hand out of my pants. But she didn't notice, or I don't know. Maybe she just didn't care. Maybe she was high and she didn't like, but yeah. Either way, nobody paid attention. So that was like one time, right? So when he did that and she came downstairs, she was like, oh, such and such. I can't even think about his name. Like, even to this day, I don't know what this man's name was. And to be honest, I'm going to let y'all know. Like, being older and looking back at it, this man was about, I'm going to say he was to the ages of like 18 to like 25. He could dress. He was dark skinned. He always wear like a fitted cap or something. I knew that. Like, from looking back to now, I can see, I'm knowing that. But yeah, I maybe knew what his name was back then, but I don't know what the fuck his name is right now. But either way, they was like really cool with the next door neighbors, to the point where they was like, I'm not supposed to say that, but I'm going to say that. They was like Masons and Easter Stars and shit. So like the head of the Masons and Easter Star was the people who was next door, Mr. Malone and Mrs. Malone. Anyways, I think that was like their grandson. It was somebody from their family. Okay, nephew, grandson, something. He was something like that, okay? So, that was that. And like I said, I knew something was wrong because, like I said, my mama never told us about it, but I knew something was wrong because in that moment, I felt my heart speed up, and it just didn't feel right, as a child. So, again, this is another day. Now, my stepdad's mom and stepdad had a son, which that's my uncle. So, but we always been like in the same age group. So yeah, something like that. But he was always like a couple years older than me. So yeah, at the point, like we was outside playing hide and go seek. Like he got his friends, and we're playing or whatever. And so he we was outside playing. We was outside playing hide and go seek, and they had like this small little shed. And when I say small shed, I mean like small shed. This thing was smaller than a jail cell, okay? So he we was outside playing. I'm playing like, with my uncle, my brother, and all that. So we just, all playing hide and go seek. So, and let me back up for a second. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. This happened in Richmond, Virginia. South Side to be exact, Halifax Street. Okay, so yeah, we playing or whatever. So I go in the little shed because that's where I wanted to hide at for some odd reason. And that's where I wanted to hide it. So when I opened the shed up, the dude was in the shed, like waiting for me. And I don't know what the fuck he was doing, but he had like his hands in his pants and shit. You know, like I'm a little girl. I don't know what the hell going on. So he's like, keep on saying, come in here, come on, come on. I said, I'm trying to hide. He says, come in here, just come in here. And so I get ready to step in there and close the shed because he tells me to close the door. But before I can get the door closed all the way, I'm sorry, I can't even say his name, I apologize. But my uncle comes around there, and he's a kid like me, but he's, like I said, he's a couple years older than me. So he's like, Deja, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm hiding. He like looked at dude and he looked at me. He like, go in the house. Go in the house. So I goes in the house. And that was that time. Okay, but after that, like we left their house and we moved back into our own house. So yeah, so that was pretty much that. But like I said, even as a little girl, I knew I was different. So after that particular thing, or whatever, like I said, we ended up leaving their house. I can't really tell or remember like all the things that was really going on back then. So yeah, at that point, we moved from out of their house. Now, my mama always wanted to live over Southside. So most of the time we lived over Southside because like my grandma and my mama my grandma is from Churchill and my mama is from Holland Park because my grandma always lived in Holland Park as she was growing up. And my mama always lived in Southside as I was growing up. So, yeah, we moved to Southside at this particular point. Hold on, let me not lie. No, we didn't move to Southside. We moved to Church Hill. So we moved to this house in Church Hill. And I'm not knowing, but this house was like haunted. Like, so looking at it back then, I'm above myself. Yes, you're right, Spirit. When we moved from their house, we moved to the projects, Mosby Court. Okay, and we was living on Accommodation Street, like almost at the beginning on that first block. So, that house was haunted too. Like it's like everywhere we lived that always encountered some type of spirit or something. But I done got like a little bit older now, so I'm probably like a year or two older. But either way, I just need y'all to stay with me. So, yeah. We live in the projects. Things was okay. And just to let y'all know, I didn't have any no more run-ins with the dude. With the dude that was over my stepdad's parents' house. I didn't have any more run-ins with him after that. But that was my first brush with, like, molestation or knowing that something ain't right. So, yeah, but this house, this particular project was haunted. To the point where, like I said, I used to see, like, me and my brother, my brother had separate rooms. But we used to like to sleep in the same room. And we both had bunk beds. So if I slept in my room, he slept in my room. If he slept in his room, I slept in his room. We was close like that. So, yeah. One particular night, I'm like laying down or whatever. But things used to happen in the house all the time, like TV turning off by itself. Certain things used to just happen in there. But yeah, this particular day, I had was sleep, but then I woke up. No, I wasn't asleep. I was asleep, but then I woke up, and then like I'm knowing that there was something in the room with me because I could feel the energy of it. And like I'm laying on my stomach again because I used to lay on my stomach a lot. So yeah, I was laying on my stomach, and this particular apparition was like trying to communicate with me. They knew that I was up because I had got up out of my sleep and I turned around and I was looking around the room. But they was like pushing my brother Tonka truck, or they pushed my brother Tonka truck, which is how I knew there was something in the room. Like they basically like was showing me that they was there. So I'm like, what the hell? But I'm not like, what the hell out loud, but I'm like in my head, I'm like, this shit is crazy. So I ended up turning back on my stomach trying to go to sleep because being up with this thing around was just like crazy. So I had my arm out of the cover, but my hand was like on, like the back of my hand was like on the bed, but my hand was open. And so I felt the apparition come to me and like put his hand inside my hand. Like I literally felt it. So that was like mind blowing. Then it was like I said, I have like times like this all the time. I'm telling y'all this for a reason, because I've always encountered things like this. So another time, we were still living in this project. Now my mom and them didn't get married yet, but they was about to get married. Like I said, when I say they was about to get married, they really about to get married. Like they had already set it up. The weddings are getting close. And so it's so close that it's like a week away, or a week or two away. And so my mama had, she had this guy that she used to call her brother, and his name was Kip, and he was gay or whatever. But that's not neither here nor there. I'm just letting y'all know what it was. So he was gay or whatever, and he had a sister named Princess. Okay, and they had 2 nephews or whatever that they used to take care of. So she had called Kip, like telling him that, well, he already knew about the wedding, but I'm guessing they had made it up in their mind that like he had invited 2 of his cousins or something from Connecticut, because they from Connecticut. So he had invited like 2 of his cousins or something down here, and they were supposed to be at my mama wedding. Okay. Now on this particular time, we was at Kip house, and he lived over Southside somewhere. So like me and my brother just playing or whatever, because this particular day, his nephews wasn't there. It was just me and my brother Drake. So we like outside playing and shit, like, and I was really mischievous. So we would do things, and I don't know where my mom and them had went to, but like I said, this was about like the wedding. So they was doing stuff for the wedding, and we was just there with my stepdad. Now my stepdad was in the house with one of Kip's cousins. There was 2 girls. There was women, but the other girl wasn't there. The chunky one wasn't there, but the little skinny one, she was there. And so me and my brother, we like outside playing or whatever. Now my brother didn't really pay attention to things like that. He just was a free spirit, and he used to just do what he wanted to do. He never really paid attention to certain things like that. So like I said, we outside playing, but I had to use the bathroom or something. So I goes in the bathroom, and I had to go in the house to go use the bathroom because we was outside playing. So in the midst of me going in the house, I see like him and the girl playing or whatever, right? So they like playing, but in my mind, they playing like how him and my mama play. So I'm kind of confused. Like, why is he playing with her like this? Like, so that didn't really make sense to me. So I kept it in my head. But when I had came in there to use the bathroom, they was like in the nephew's room, and they was like playing on the bed. Okay, so in my mind, I feel like I can tell I'm just a kid, but I can tell from the energy how they was displaying that they fucked with each other, or they was fucking around with each other. But I knew that wasn't right. So I go back outside and I'm telling bro, and we stood at the screen door because like we went outside. When I went back outside, they like amped up again, and so I'm telling my brother like, bro, you see this shit? Like, these motherfuckers like playing like how him and mom play. And he like, what? Like I said, my brother was always oblivious to everything. So he's like, wait, like, no, they just playing. So I'm like, whatever. I brushed it off and I kept playing. But either way, it didn't sit right with me because when he came to the door, she came to the door, it was like crazy like that. Like, it was really weird. So anyways, it didn't sit right with me. My brother said he wasn't worrying about it. He kept doing what he was doing. He kept doing what he was doing or whatever. Sorry about that. My daughter just tried to come in the room. So yeah, he kept doing what he was doing or whatever. And then, like I said, it didn't sit right with me. Kip and them come back. Kip and my mom and them come back. We go home. Like, so the next day, we goes over my grandma's house, okay? And my grandma still lived over Holly Park. She was living on Garland Avenue then, which is off of Brooklyn Park Boulevard, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so we went to my grandma's house, which is normal for us. So I went to my grandma's house, but this time my mama there. And I had already told my mama, like, I think that, Keith messing with the girl. Now, we didn't call my stepdad dad. Yeah, we didn't call my stepdad dad. Hold for a second, y'all. I gotta pause. So, yeah, we didn't call him dad because he didn't want us to call him dad. So we called him by his name, which is Keith. So I told my mama, like, Keith, he messed with that girl. And she like, what are you talking about? And so I'm telling her, and she like, get pissed. But in some way, she catches them in the act. Okay, or whatever the hell. So this particular day, when she bring it up to him or whatever, they come in the house, like they was gone, but then they come in the house and they're like, going back and forth with each other or whatever. And I remember her saying like, how you gonna do this just a week before we get married and whatever. And he's like, man, fuck that shit, I'm leaving. So he's like going in like the dirty holes, grabbing his clothes, and he just grabbing the shit, and he's just like, whatever. But either ways, they like getting into it. They like fussing and fighting or whatever. So like they never left each other like after that. Okay, but if y'all want to hear more, I'm gonna need y'all to hit my email up, which is Deja the Diva 34@gmail.com, and everything is lowercase, and it is DEJADADIVA 34@gmail.com. So if y'all want to hear more of my story, I'm gonna need y'all to hit me up on my email and let me know that y'all want to hear it. I give gratitude, even if it's just one person. It doesn't even matter to me because I know my story will help somebody. But yeah, hit me up and let me know that y'all want to fuck with me. Y'all want me to make more content. I'm only comfortable with doing podcasts right now. I don't want nobody in my face. I'm not that type of person. I like to be in the background. So just hit me up, y'all. Like I said, it's Deja Diva on y'all radio, phone, computer, wherever you're listening from. Hit me up. Love y'all. Peace.